Hey team, Patrick here, back with another lesson on one of my favourite topics, which is double strategy. This is something I teach on a weekly basis to students that come for group lessons with me on doubles, and it's one of the best tactics because it gets both of your team up to the net, which is the strongest position to be in on the doubles court. I'm going to show you how to position yourself and move at the net to make it very difficult for your opponents to get it past you by building what I call a wall at the net between you and your partner. So let's get into it. Assuming we are in a regular one up, one back formation, we should be looking to hit the ball deep and cross court to the opposing baseliner. This is not only going to keep it away from the volleyer at the net, it's going to stop the baseliner having a chance to come into the net off a short ball. It might also force them into giving us a short ball that we can also approach the net. And we should be looking to get into the net as often as we can in doubles. And the times to come into the net either if the ball lands short, if we put our opponent under pressure with our depth and our width and they're struggling to get the ball back and they're not going to get much on it and they're going to end up floating the ball, or the earliest time that we can get into the net would be immediately off the serve with the serve and volley. The key to this strategy, when you have both players up at the net, is you're both going to shift your position over towards the ball, towards the side of the court of the baseliner receiving the shot. So if you were already up at the net, you're going to move over and put your foot on the tram line. And if you were the player approaching the net, you're going to put your foot on the center line. The reason for this is it doesn't allow the baseliner to hit the easier passing shot down the line where they have the entire length of the court to hit into and they can be aggressive. It also doesn't leave much of a gap between me and my partner where they can hit directly through the middle of our team, but forces them to hit very close to the volleyer, directly across my body where I can see it coming and cut the ball off. So they only have a very small space to play into on the angle. And if they do try and hit it hard, well, they're just going to miss wide. But this is what I call missing long, because really they've just ran out of room and they'll end up having to roll the ball or chip the ball more slowly. So the only option they have is to play the lob. And we can now be aggressive and take the ball out of the air with the overhead. You will have to what I call bend your run on the way in, where initially you move forwards and then move across once you're up at the net in this hook shape. As we can't move directly to the center line, as when further back around the service line, playing our volley in transition, we're not going to be able to cover the angle. Remember, we should be split stepping as our opponent hits and then moving again, and not split stepping when we reach a certain position. And we should be split stepping simultaneously with our partner. We want to be in the air as a team as the ball is on our opponent's strings, so we land in our most athletic position and can immediately react and explode towards the ball. The receiving team, if the opposing baseliner approaches the net, should drop all the way back to the baseline. So the net player doesn't leave themselves on what I call an island to be targeted by the volleyers on the other side, where they're going to have no time to react and get the ball back, but they give themselves a chance to put up a high defensive lob. And if you then volley to the other side, you need to shift your position over as a team. Imagine you've got a cord between you, so you move over as a team and you build this wall. As again, if not, you're either going to leave the long line exposed or a big gap through the middle if only one of you was to move. So if you have a high ball where you can be aggressive, you want to play across on the angle to finish the point. But if you have a low ball where you're going to end up popping the ball up, you want to play back in the same direction. You want to keep the ball in front of you where you're now already in the correct position on the court between you and your partner to cover the next ball. Right, please go out and practice this in your next doubles match, as it really puts the other team in a bind and is typically not what I see in recreational doubles, where if a player does come in, they just end up standing in the middle of their service boxes. And let me know in the comments, did you know this? Was it a reminder or something you've not thought about before? And if the video has helped, please leave it a like, share it around with your doubles teammates, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next video. Cheers, guys.